Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Queen Agaba. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, Star Times channel T76, and free to air on NigeComSat. You can also download the Global TV Nigeria mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project has taken President Bola Tinubu to court over what it calls the unlawful suspension of the Rivers State Governor, his deputy, and House of Assembly members. The 6-month suspension was announced while the president proclaimed a state of emergency in the state. SERAP argued that the decision violates constitutional provisions and undermines democratic governance. The lawsuit, filed at the Federal High Court in Abuja, was initiated by 3 members of SERAP's Volunteers Lawyers Network in Rivers State. A joint security operation involving the Federal Capital Territory Police Command and the military has rescued a kidnapped naval officer, Lieutenant Cynthia Ako, attached to the defense headquarters, and 2 civilians abducted from Mpape, Abuja. The victims were taken on March 21, 2025, when armed men attacked the Mamman Vasta Estate Gate, blocked Mpape Road, and opened fire moving vehicles before abducting them. FCT Police Command spokesperson SP Josephine Ade says the kidnappers later contacted their families, demanding 500 million naira for the naval officer and 200 million naira each for the civilians. The All Progressives Congress (APC) has issued a strong warning to the new Nigeria People's Party (NNPP)-led Kano state government following controversial remarks made by the Deputy Governor Aminu Abdulsalam. Abdulsalam had accused Professor Hafsat Abdullahi Ganduje, wife of former governor and current APC national chairman Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, of financial misconduct, specifically interfering with pension funds during her husband's tenure. In a widely circulated video, the deputy governor alleged that pensioners were only paid after Professor Hafsat had taken her share of the funds. The Nigerian Senate is reviewing a bill aimed at regulating and enhancing safety standards for articulated vehicles to reduce fatalities from highway accidents. Senator Babangida Hussaini, representing Jigawa Northwest Senatorial District, disclosed this in an interview in Dutse. He cited data showing that over 1,613 Nigerians have died in 169 fuel tanker explosions recorded between June 2009 and October 2024. The bill, which was read for the first time in November 2024, Hussaini says it aims to make provisions for the regulation and safety of articulated vehicles in line with the Constitution. The chairman of Ikole local government area, Bayo Omojola, has urged residents to be security conscious and protect electricity transformers in their communities from vandalism. Omojola gave the advice in an interview with the Ikole Ekiti. He says communities currently enjoying uninterrupted electricity supply were those whose transformers remained in good condition, adding that it is important for every resident of Ikole Ekiti and other communities under the council to take responsibility for protecting their transformers from vandals. The Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria says it has temporarily shut the Samuel Ladoke Akintola Airport in Ibadan, Oyo State, to facilitate extensive upgrade works to enhance infrastructure and operational standards. FAN, in a statement signed by its Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection, Mrs. Obiageli Ora, stated that the federal government had approved the closure, which became necessary to enable the execution of critical improvement at the airport. The Nigerian Airspace Management Agency has consequently closed the runway and suspended airport operations by the International Civil Aviation Organization regulations. The upgrade was part of the state government's move to transform the aerodrome into an international status. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has warned officers of the Nigerian police force against unlawful and prolonged detentions. He stressed that any officer found violating constitutional provisions on human rights will face serious consequences. This is detailed in a statement released and signed by the first Public Relations Officer ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi. The IG reaffirmed the police leadership commitment to upholding human rights and ensuring due process in all detention procedures. Armed bandits attacked Beidi community in Tangaza local government area of Sokoto State, killing one person and injuring two others. Eyewitnesses say the assailants stormed the village in broad daylight, shooting at residents before fleeing. The victims were rushed to Tangaza General Hospital, where one later died. Local sources say it's the third attack in a week, with the attackers arriving on motorcycles in groups of 3. The governor of Jigawa State, Umar Namadi, has expressed disappointment over the quality of work on the 10.8 billion naira Guli erosion control project in Kago Duse, local government area of the state. During an unscheduled visit, Namdi faulted the contractor, Rita Char Company Limited, for using substandard materials, warning that his administration will not tolerate poor workmanship. The project, sponsored by the World Bank, aimed to combat erosion in affected communities, including Damasara, Yalwaya, and Cargo, under the Agro-Climatic Landscape Initiative. It was supposed to be a typical night commute for many, but it turned into a nightmare for those who witnessed the devastating fire on Otedela Bridge. The inferno, which engulfed several vehicles, left a trail of destruction and chaos in its wake. The fire, which started when a gas tanker's brakes failed, quickly spread to nearby businesses, including a mechanic workshop, a hospital, and several provision and clothing stores. The incident counted 18 vehicles, 10 tricycles, all of which were destroyed in the blaze. You're watching the live broadcast of News Cycle. When News Cycle returns, Canada denies 13,000 Nigerians asylum. Details coming shortly after the break. Please stay with us.
Do you know that Global Television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch Global Television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to Global Television. Many thanks for staying with us. If you've just joined us, this is Global Television bringing you live broadcast of the News Cycle. The Nigerian Conservation Foundation and other partners hosted the Executive Secretary of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, Simon Steele, and his delegation on a 4-day visit to Nigeria. A statement from the NCF stated that the UNFCCC has been pivotal in supporting climate policy development, capacity building, and other initiatives for various countries. The maiden visit, which included a series of events, helped to review the country's progress to an ambitious, nationally determined contribution, NDC 3.0. Chief of which is to achieve net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2060 and the economic benefits a strong climate action plan can bring. The governor of Enugu State, Peter Mba, has assured residents that his administration is on track to meet the 600 billion naira internally generated revenue targets for 2025. This milestone, he emphasized, will fund transformative development projects across the state. Governor Mba made this declaration during his investiture as president of the Enugu Sports Club. Bureau de Change operators under the aegis of the Association of Bureau de Change Operators of Nigeria, ABCON, have revealed that the naira is fast becoming the most unpredictable currency in the world. They noted that the local currency has in recent times been going through an inconsistent journey and has been greatly affected by all kinds of wars, ranging from trade, rate, as well as speculative attack. This was disclosed by APCON President Aminu Gwadabe during an exclusive chat over the weekend, where he admitted that the foreign exchange market is facing some challenges. A trade expert who serves as the treasurer of the Oyo State Shippers Association, Aminat Animashaun, has identified high interest rates on loans and poor infrastructure as key barriers hindering the export of Nigerian-made goods. Animashaun lamented that entrepreneurs seeking to export locally produced goods are struggling due to expensive credit facilities. She called on the government to introduce single-digit interest rate loans to encourage more production for export. On the foreign scene, Kyiv authorities said Russian drone strikes on the Ukrainian capital killed at least 3 people and wounded 10. The drones targeted several districts of Kyiv, mainly hitting residential buildings and causing large fires. According to footage circulating on social media, 3 people died, including a 5-year-old child. Another 10 people were wounded. The youngest victim was only 11 months old. Russian and Ukrainian delegations are due to hold parallel ceasefire talks with U.S. representatives in Saudi Arabia on Monday. No fewer than 13,171 Nigerians who applied for refugee protection from January 2013 to December 2024 were turned down by Canadian government. This includes 811 Nigerians rejected in 2024. Official data from the Refugee Protection Division of the Immigration and Refugee Board of Canada placed Nigeria among the top 5 countries with the most rejected claims. It ranked 5th. Others are Mexico with 2,954 rejections, India with 1,688, Haiti 982, and Colombia 723. Sudan's army has reclaimed the presidential palace in the capital Khartoum in a significant victory over a rampaging militia that controls swaths of the war-torn countries. The Sudanese armed forces and the paramilitary rapid support forces have viciously scrambled for territory since fighting broke out between them in April 2023. The conflict has triggered one of the world's worst humanitarian crises and has left more than 28,000 people dead, with 11 million others forced to flee their homes, according to the Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Initiative. The RSF has laid siege in Khartoum and the Sudanese seat of power since the start of the war. The government says its troops had seized control of the presidential palace and will continue its push to retake the capital. Turkish opposition Republican People's Party, CHP, members and others are currently gathering at polling stations for a primary election to endorse detained Istanbul Mayor Ekrem İmamoğlu as candidates for the next presidential election. The CHP urged non-party members to vote to boost public resistance amid İmamoğlu's detention over charges including graft and aiding a terrorist group. However, İmamoğlu has repeatedly denied the charges. CHP, which has over 1.5 million members, set up 5,600 ballot boxes for voting across all Turkey's 81 provinces. In sports, Victor Osimhen says the Super Eagles' remaining 5 matches in the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers are a war that must be fought and won. The Super Eagles breathed new life into their qualifying campaign with a comfortable 2-0 victory over Amvrobi of Rwanda in Kigali on Friday. It was their first win in the qualifying series, where the 3-time African champions moved to 4th position in Group C with 6 points from 5 games. Ferrari's duo in Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc have been disqualified from the Chinese Grand Prix. The decision was taken after their respective cars failed post-race technical checks. Leclerc and Hamilton finished 5th and 6th respectively in their Shanghai race. La Liga giants Barcelona are reportedly interested in Atlanta winger Ademola Lookman. Lookman, according to report Mundo Deportivo, is a possible option for Hansi Flick's side in the summer transfer window. The Nigerian international will be entering the final year of his Atlanta contract in the summer. The 27-year-old was close to linking up with League One champions Paris Saint-Germain last summer. And that's it on Global TV News Cycle. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. Don't forget, you can watch Global Television on DSTV channel 365, Star Times channel 276, and free to air on NightComSat. You can also download the Global TV Nigeria mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. I'm Queen Agaba. Thank you for watching and see you again.